Ugh, it's my notifications from the videos we made. Better go check if anyone commented on our videos. What the heck? Yo, did you see SpongeBob SquarePants Search for SquarePants? I saw it in theaters and it was not worth the wait. P.S. Don't look at the banner on the apps from SpongeBob SquarePants. Banner contains inappropriate images and the ads are AI generated? Wait, what? Nah, bro, that ain't true. Nickelodeon's still making good and funny content, right? Yeah, this is a joke. I'll call Nickelodeon and prove all of you wrong. I'm going via blimp.
Go over Saturday when Diablin.
Alright, it's time to go meet with Nickelodeon. Dan Schneider? You're not in charge of Nickelodeon. Not anymore. I'm not, little man, but my producer buddies are. And they secretly work for me. Now what do you want? I'm staging a musical about young people so I can abuse them again. Nickelodeon's making good content, right? I'm sorry, no. See, Ultro, you gotta learn a little thing called employee puppetry. What's employee puppetry? So you got these villains. We hide the bad stuff about them and replace them with good stuff. Maybe fake, but hey, it's business. Then they begin making bad content that may be bad, but it still gives us more money. After when our mission's done, we move on to the next studio to victimize. But that's evil. Why do this? Guards! I think he's learned enough. If he still hasn't got the picture yet, make sure he sleeps with the fishes. You can't do this, Dan. I'll make sure everyone knows about your plan. You'll never expose me. I'm invisible now. What you gonna do about it? You can't get away with this nonsense anymore. I need to take action again. Zero Boy, pack your bags. We're saving SpongeBob. Hello viewers, this is Ultro speaking. As we know, Nickelodeon has been really nostalgic, wacky, wild, and hilarious until recently. And by recently, I mean the 2010s to until whatever current decade you're watching. I don't know. But first, let us discuss to you about Nickelodeon's golden years. But before we discuss into that, please push the subscribe button so that way we can make more content like this. Oh no, I forgot about this. Yep, we're gonna get to that soon. Now, it all started in the late 1970s, 1977. There was this game show. I forgot what that was called after 1977. That was a little boring after 1977. The 80s came, and that's when it started to get a little fun. During the 1980s, there were some games that I also can't remember. And, well, yeah, let's just forget about the 70s and the 80s, and let's just get to the early 90s. Yeah. During the early 90s, the 90s was like home to Nickelodeon's greatest hits. There were only a few dark shows that I will show you right now. Oh, and shout out to the Mickey Mouse of the 7 Seas 30 for helping me out on listing this information of Nickelodeon that I myself never even knew about. Seriously, I never even knew about this. Thank you very much. The year was 1990. Nickelodeon has filmed its very first popular show, Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's not actually creepy, guys. It's just for, kids. It's a spooky, silly show that tells you about bravery and, quirky Halloween stories. It's actually a good show to watch, just to let you know, I recommend it. In 1991, every animated show and sitcom was released on the same year. There was Doug, there was Rugrats, there was... Wait, what else was there? Oh, never mind, now I remember. There was Clarissa Knows It All, the live-action sitcom I was talking to you about, and Rem and Stimpy. Okay, so this one was kind of weird. Rem and Stimpy. It was the first dark Nickelodeon show in this studio. It involved some content that should not be for kids to experience. It also showed kids psychoticness from these two individuals, and the relationship they share together is is creepy. This was Nickelodeon's very first dark show. It was still loved, but it was dark. It was just traumatizing. 1992, only this released.
It was called The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Oh, that was first formed in 1994. Real Monsters, made in the same year. My Brother and Me, which was probably made in 1994 or 1995. Hey Arnold in 1996. The Angry Beavers from 1997. Animorphs, made in 1998. The Wild Thornberrys, made in 1998. Kenan and Kel, made in that exact same year. Sorry, it was made in 1996. I apologize for that. Cousins. Wait a minute. So you're telling me that Disney ripped off Nickelodeon by making a puppet show? I thought Disney made that an original idea. Looks like we caught our first or maybe our only Disney reference in this video. The Amanda Show starring
controversial singer Amanda Bynes.
And the moment you've all been waiting for, the man, the sponge, the legend himself, SpongeBob SquarePants. But before we get to the downfall of that, first, let's get into some other details.
What is that? Is that the logo for Klasky Supo?
If you don't know what Klasky Supo is, let me tell you. Nickelodeon had a lot of animation companies, but its biggest animation companies, one of them was Klasky Supo, which was responsible for making Rugrats, Our Real Monsters, The Wild Thornberrys, Rocket Power, As Told by Ginger, All Grown Up, and the American dub of Poppycat. And, well, they remade a CGI animated reboot of Rugrats, which was then horrible, which we'll talk about later. But this logo you see in front of you traumatized a lot of little kids when they were younger. They were jump scared by this. This is unsettling, and even I can agree this is most unsettling. The mouth, the eyes, the black blot. There was later a show of this logo called Splat, which was basically a compilation of these transitions.
I know. I put it really creepy.
Now, while these Nickelodeon shows soon got horrible, there was one show that never died until the 2010s, and that was
SpongeBob SquarePants!
there was just a tiny leak at the nuclear facility. SpongeBob first aired in 1999. The very first episode was called Help Wanted, and this was SpongeBob's very first introduction as a character. The show was created by a marine biologist called Stephen Hillenburg, and the very first thing he saw was a yellow sponge, which inspired him to create SpongeBob, the wacky, quirky character that used to be that, but now today is the annoying sponge you want to rip apart, eat, and put in the trash and burn it down to the ground. But how did we get to this transition? So, first in season 1, it gave birth to some...
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were recording.
Nuns? Nuns think I...
What? Just... Never mind. Continuing about what I was saying, season 1 gave birth to some very... In season 1, it gave birth to many...
Okay, I'll stop now.
In season 1, it gave birth to many iconic scenes and funny and heartwarming episodes. These episodes were the very core aspect of SpongeBob SquarePants, and it continued to everlast its joy for 3 to 4 more seasons. After that, they decided they wanted to do a movie, so they partnered up with Paramount to make the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, which was award-winning and gave birth to a lot of other memes, and it was originally planned to be the finale of SpongeBob SquarePants. But the audience demanded more seasons, so after that, season 4, season 5, season 6 and season 6 came to existence. But in season 7, things started to get downhill. It started to get worse and worse. And they started to drift away from Stephen Hillenburg's dream. And when he died, they made the episodes even worse, and the movies got even worse. The worst one ever during that decade, which was the 2020s, was, well, and well, this might be the beginning of the downfall of SpongeBob SquarePants. This was horrible. It was horrible. The story was horrible, the characters were horrible, the plot was horrible, the meaning was horrible, the message was horrible. Everything about this movie just screams horrible. And they ruined memes! They ruined the My Arm Guy meme. They ruined pretty much everything about this movie. But before we go even worse, let's go to what happened during the 2000s. Let's take a review, kids!
Just kidding, kids. We're gonna skip all those parts and just go to, my favorite show, my favorite Nickelodeon show ever in 2000, and that's
Fairly Odd Parents! I don't care what you say about the old seasons, okay? I find them very funny. I find them very quirky. I like the characters. This is very funny for me. It's really, really good, and I recommend you see it. The good ones, anyways. As soon as the Wishology series ends, then the episodes start to get bad, and oh no, they took advantage of my boy, the creator, Butch Hartman, and well, barely acknowledged him. I guess you could say they butchered him. Thank you, I'll be all night. But there are also hated shows of the 2000s, and that includes... What the heck is that? So, this must be the show he was telling me about. This is Mr. Meaty Show, and boy is it creepy. Little kids hated this. Because I could see why. I don't even have to explain this. Do I even have to explain this? I'm pretty sure you guys already know the reason why this is horrible. Fine, if you insist. The reason why Mr. Meaty, he's such a horrible show is because one, it's creepy. It literally just jump scared me. And two, well, it promotes veganism as being bad. The only meat I eat, Mr. Meaty, is white-shelled eggs. Nothing else. Just white-shelled eggs. That's the only meat I eat. The rest is just vegetables, fruits, and grains. I don't eat any of that junk food you eat, especially pizza. Okay, I'm gonna tell you 2 more bad shows in the 2000s. Then after that, I'm gonna tell you the downfall of Nickelodeon animation altogether. First of all, I wasn't so sure why El Tigre was controversial, but I looked up at Google and it said it was because they were misrepresenting Mexican culture, or maybe it was too focused on that, and it was justifying evil, showing evil as good and good as obnoxious. But I'm 100% not so sure why making fiends is controversial. If you know why it's controversial, write it down in the comments below. It'll really help me a lot. But there are other things that I am definitely sure about of Nickelodeon. Like, for example, Nickelodeon's downfall. The dark shows made by Nickelodeon soon began giving off a negative influence and a negative impact. And you wanna know who was responsible for Nickelodeon's downfall? Her name is Saima Zargani, and she's an Iranian American corrupt politician slash businesswoman, and she was the reason why Nickelodeon had experienced its downfall. And just like how Michael Eisner's fate was with Disney, Sima Zargani later resigned and got fired by Nickelodeon. But just like Michael Eisner's successful fate, she later got a successor, and his name was Daniel Schneider. But before we get to that, let's go back to the animated elephant in the room, SpongeBob. So, Sima Zargani was the reason why SpongeBob was the horrible, annoying sponge you see today. And, well, the seasons and the episodes got really annoying. So in 2016, Chris Savino had the perfect idea of making... Oh, so I didn't have to use the title or anything? Okay, I'll just say it myself. Chapter 2, The Loud House begins! Loud House. You know, the funny thing was, when I was younger, I used to watch episodes of this, and it was one of my only favorite modern-day Nickelodeon shows left, because I like the whole concept of having, like, a big family, and one guy having to go through it. When Zero Boy was little, his favorite character was Luna Loud, but now we realize the truth about her. I'm just not gonna say it, but I will say something about this Loud House show. Sadly, however, the creator of the show, Chris Savino, did some bad things, and, well, poor guy. He had to go to jail for them. The reason why I feel bad for this guy, unlike the rest, is because he didn't mean to do this. It's just a habit that he cannot break, like addiction. So Chris Savino had to put himself in jail. And after that, Loud House was put into the hands of an associate of Sima Zargani. Who's in charge of the Loud House now? Michael Rubiner is, and he treated Loud House really horribly, just to let you know. Characters started to get really annoying, and Lincoln became more of the ego freak. And, well, Loud House ended up like SpongeBob. Little did they know, Loud House is now like SpongeBob. And let me show you what I mean by that. This is when the Mickey Mouse of the 7 Seas 30 informed me of this. SpongeBob and the Loud House has taken over almost everything of Nickelodeon channel in cable TV that do not have any streaming platforms. If you'd ever want to go watch it on a Sunday, oh, look what we find here. SpongeBob and Loud House. About Monday. Oh, SpongeBob and Loud House again. Surely this is a coincidence. Tuesday. Oh, SpongeBob and Loud House? I'm sure my fate ends soon. Wednesday. Okay, this is starting to get really annoying. Please, when is it gonna stop? Thursday. Oh my gosh, it's still here? Friday. Oh, that's it. I'm just gonna burn it to the ground. Saturday. I can't believe they would allow this to happen. What happened to its good seasons? And that's when it all faded. That's when Nickelodeon Animation no longer became the wacky guy. They're just the SpongeBob and Loud House guy now. And if you thought the animation department would be even worse, the workplace department is even worse. While animation was suffering its many downfalls, Dan Schneider was in charge of the live-action shows that specifically added kids, teens as actors. But he didn't add them just to add them. He had them because he needed them as an excuse for something that shouldn't be done. A real dirty action. You see, Mr. Schneider got a little bit close with the kids. Too close. But every creep has to be obsessed with one body part of someone. What body part was he obsessed with? Feet. plain human feet. How much does he mention feet that much in his videos? A lot. He even told one of the actors to shove their own foot into their mouth. Why a foot? And he keeps mentioning it mainly in Sam and Cat. There's even an episode to get back a shoe. They keep mentioning feet a lot. This unhealthy obsession over feet and over children later made Dan Schneider do one last unhealthy act. This was the last straw. After that, he went to jail, and they later made a documentary about this called Quiet on Set, which exposed Nickelodeon's workplace and Dan Schneider's behavior. He may have apologized in that one video, but I'm still not so sure if he hasn't fully given up his actions yet or not. And wasn't it a little suspicious that he wanted to sue Quiet on Set for making that video? And, well, after Dan Schneider left Nickelodeon, it wasn't the CEOs that created Nickelodeon's downfall of today's decades, but the producers, the directors. They were the one carrying out Nickelodeon's downfall today. Not the CEOs, but the producers and the directors. But instead of getting better, Nickelodeon got even worse. And well, I'm pretty sure you all know what is currently the stage of Nickelodeon. Search for SquarePants. And that, my friends, that's Nickelodeon. That's Nickelodeon. And, well, if you have any thoughts on how Nickelodeon could change, leave them down in the comments below. This is Ultro speaking, and I wish you goodbye. 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 That guy from Goldima Studios was a sucker for leaving me be. Uh-oh. It's the fuzz.
Let's go!
You gotta be kidding!
How you doing in there, Danny?
Did you have to shave my cruffy beard?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Groomer. Hi, 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 hi.
You laugh like a robot.
Son, I say, son. I say, do you know who you're talking to? You're talking to a fully experienced cop. I'm a lieutenant. And talk like that gets you in trouble, son. You're lucky I ain't the bad type.
What time is it?
4:30. You used to be a good kid. Now I'm starting to think it was a lie. Why didn't you do this? Maybe I'll watch the video this Goldima Studios group has uploaded.
I'll be back! I'll be back!